This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Indiana's delayed primary is just 4 days away, but some Hoosier votes could go uncounted. That warning tonight as we begin the news at 7. I'm Amanda Starantino in the WRTV studios.
And I'm Mark Mullen, social distancing in my temporary home studio tonight. Today, Marion County Clerk Mila Eldridge sent a letter to Secretary of State Connie Lawson. Marion County has been slow in processing some of the tens of thousands of absentee ballots returned, and the clerk says that's because of staffing limitations mandated by COVID-19 restrictions. Eldridge also says the Postal Service has been slow in mailing absentee ballots to some voters who requested them. As a result, the clerk says thousands of voters in Marion County and throughout the state likely will not have their ballots counted through no fault of their own after having been encouraged by election officials to vote by mail. The clerk is calling for emergency action by the State Election Commission to extend the deadline for the return of absentee ballots. Secretary of State Connie Lawson responded by phone today at the governor's press conference.
Changing the deadline would not be a good idea. There are 92 counties in this state, and we cannot change deadlines because somebody is too busy or whether it's lack of preparation of getting the work done. So the deadlines are there for security and accountability.
And Lawson says with absentee ballots should drop theirs off in person at any early voting or polling location before noon Tuesday, which is the deadline. She also said she spoke with Mayor Hogsett and they will work together to provide extra staff members for ballot processing. And you can return your absentee ballot in person to one of Marion County's voting sites this weekend. There are 3 Broad Ripple and Beech Grove high schools and the City County building. Hours are Saturday and Sunday, 11 to 7. The CCB will also be open Monday from 8 a.m. to noon. And on Election Day, there will be 22 vote centers. You can find detailed info at voteindy.gov.
Here's a question for you. Do I look relaxed? We should all be a little more relaxed here going into what will be a beautiful weekend into early next week. The humidity off our shoulders, and we'll have lots of sunshine around as well. The skies are starting to clear now, and temperatures falling. Actually, they'll be a little cool in spots in the morning and the next several mornings. 79 in Lafayette. Temperatures in eastern Indiana took a little longer to warm back up after the cloud cover and rain lingered into the afternoon hours. Anywhere in the metro area, temperatures there in the 70s. That will change slowly this evening. There's the cloud cover that will begin to clear. And once it does, the dry air continues to flow in. These are dew point temperatures anywhere west of Indiana. The air's very dry. That is headed to your house.
All right, thank you, Kevin. We'll see you in a few minutes, too. Now to our continuing coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on Indiana. The State Health Department says 1,946 Hoosiers have now died from coronavirus. Another 33,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. More than 248,000 people have been tested in Indiana, with 13.5% testing positive. RTV6 is partnering with the United Way to support the Central Indiana COVID-19 Community Economic Relief Fund. Tonight, our Nicole Griffin is finding out money from that fund is helping provide emergency daycare for children of healthcare workers.
In March, as cases of the coronavirus started to spread across Indiana,
our phones rang off the hook, and so we knew that this was something that needed to happen.
IU Health Day Early Learning stayed open. Their company, Early Learning Indiana, created a program in a matter of days to give essential workers an option for childcare.
We immediately started to panic a little bit because trying to figure out what to do with kids when I still have to go to work every day.
Jodee Skiles is a pediatric stem cell transplant physician at Riley Hospital for Children. She has 2 daughters, 5-year-old Molly and 3-year-old Gracie. Their daycare and school closed during the pandemic.
I was like, I just need a place for my kids to be so that I can take care of my patients every day.
IU Health Day Early Learning took in about 22 kids, including Jodee's daughters. Each child's care is paid for by IU Health as their parents continue to work on the front lines.
As a child, my father worked as a fireman in EMT, and my mom worked at the hospital. So on a personal level, it means a lot. Some of our other centers are taking on on the EMS workers and the fire department and the police department.
Because of the virus and the families they are helping, there are social distancing measures in place. Children are screened daily, and parents aren't allowed inside the building.
We just can't have that traffic because we don't know where everybody's been.
Since parents are not able to go inside the center right now due to the coronavirus, the teachers here took the time to decorate the front windows. They are full of pictures of the children showing the activities they are doing throughout the day.
Today, Early Learning has done such a phenomenal job of not only keeping my kids safe and still alive at the end of the day, but they also have done a great job of providing an environment where my kids can continue to learn and grow.
Which is why she's now decided to keep her kids enrolled in the daycare, even after IU Health stops paying for the service. Working for you, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
The United Way's Central Indiana COVID-19 Community Economic Relief Fund is helping with the funding for the emergency care program at Early Learning Indiana centers across Central Indiana. If you would like to make a donations to the fund, you can do so by texting HELP 2020 to 91999. Again, that's HELP 2020. You text that to 91999.
And there has been an increase in deadly violence in Indianapolis that's been overshadowed by the COVID-19 pandemic. IMPD has investigated 68 criminal homicides since January 1st. There were 43 criminal homicides at this time last year. WRTV's Stephanie Wade talks with a group aiming to help young people before they resort to violence.
Before You Fall is just what it sounds like. It's an organization that supports teens and young adults before they fall. And the founder is really taking that mission to another level by creating this.
The city of Indianapolis has a young black male problem. Let them tell it. They're the ones dying. They're the ones killing. They're the ones. So this is for the city of Indianapolis.
Founder of Before You Fall, Shane Shepard's latest effort in violence reduction in Indianapolis is building this. A home for boys ages 14 to 24 in need of a supportive environment.
If I can change your perception of your reality or help you see something different, then you will move different on your own.
With 6 bedrooms that can house 12 young men, this home at the corner of 30th and Tibbs Avenue gives them a place to stay. Help if they're food insecure and feeling unsupported at home.
What are your issues? Is it mental health? Is it substance abuse? Do you feel abandoned? Have you been abused? What's your trauma? Let's talk about it.
And get to the root problem of what's causing them to resort to crime and violence.
I don't think that I can ever tell a young man to put his gun down. But what I can do is put something in his life, like finances, purpose, that will enable him to have a desire to not want to kill people.
40 people are signed up so far. All Shepard needs now are the funds to keep the house up and running. Calling on the community to step up and step in if they want to fix the crime problem in Indianapolis.
It's all solution-based. I never come to you with the problem like, you know what they doing out here? Everybody know what they're doing. What are you going to do about it?
Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
And the young men are able to stay for 90 days in the home. It is completely free of charge to them and their families. If you would like to donate, we will provide a link on our website at theindychannel.com.
It's set to be another nice weekend in Central Indiana, and that means people will be hitting the water. Straight ahead here, we ride along with Fishers Police and their public safety boat to talk about what you need to know before getting on the water.
Make a donation or volunteer today.
Welcome back. It is set to be another nice weekend in Central Indiana, and that means people will be hitting the water. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us with boating safety tips from the Fishers Police Department.
Well, now that it's warm outside, we are all spending more time outside, whether that's just outside, hanging out at the pool, or even on the lake. And safety officials want to make sure if you're doing any water sports that you're doing it safely. According to the DNR, there are several violations they see most often out on the lake. The first is boaters not having enough life jackets on board for each person on the boat. Another Indiana law they see broken is if you're doing any water sports, there needs to be someone else on board acting as a spotter besides the driver. And most importantly, don't drive a boat while intoxicated.
We just really want people to be safe. We would much rather have these conversations now, get people to wear their life vest when they're on the water, get people to operate in a safe manner, to not operate if they're intoxicated.
And during this pandemic, they are suggesting that people wear their masks while on the boat, but of course, not while you're in the water. I'm Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Thanks, Kelsey. As more of the state reopens, unemployed workers may be called back to their jobs. But what do you do if you don't feel safe? After the break, we'll walk you through the steps you need to follow to keep your benefits and stay healthy.
And the most comfortable days are the first 3 days in my 7-day forecast. We'll talk about the changes for next week coming up.
It anchors you.
This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
4 Democratic senators are calling for federal regulators to investigate the controversial practice of tip baiting on grocery delivery app Instacart. Last month, CNN reported some Instacart customers were bait and switching workers by offering up a large tip as high as $50 or more and then taking it away after the grocery delivery was completed. Senators Brian Schatz and Elizabeth Warren, Sherrod Brown, and Chris Van Hollen signed a letter to the Federal Trade Commission. It asked the agency to scrutinize the tipping policy at Instacart and other similar companies. Instacart says the vast majority of people adjust their tip upward or do not adjust their tip at all after delivery.
Our Rebound Indiana initiative is all about helping you solve the issues the COVID-19 pandemic is causing in your life. Our team continues to focus on those having difficulty with their unemployment benefits, and many Hoosiers are being called back to work. But what if you don't feel safe going back? Before you decide not to return to work, you'll want to take some steps to protect your unemployment benefits. Call 6 Chief Investigator Rafael Sanchez continues your guide to managing unemployment.
You would say to someone, if they're going to take the step of not accepting that position, to at least have all their documentation together, so when they have to make their appeal, that they will be ready to move forward with their claim. Is that a fair
That's
statement?
absolutely right. So, and let's just go ahead and take that one step further and say that, the first step here is just open communication between employers and their employees. And that really goes both ways. To the extent that you're an individual that's facing this situation, I would certainly encourage you to be open with your employer about what your concerns are and make sort of recommendations about what might make it better for you. And again, that will be relevant to us. Did you attempt to maintain the employment relationship will be important. Conversely, certainly my recommendation to employers that they work with their employees to try to make sure that they're creating the kind of environment that brings those employees back. Look, we know that if Indiana's economy is going to bounce back the way that we want it to, the way we expect it to, that it's going to require that individuals return to work. And so, it's really incumbent on employers and employees to try to facilitate the discussions that lead to a successful and healthy and safe return to the work environment.
Temperatures, they'll be mild the next several days, and more importantly, perhaps, if you've got outdoor activities like yard work and that, dry, 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 dry. So we've got a dry stretch. It's been a while since we've had that. We've had over 7 inches of rain during this month of May, but we'll finish the last 2 days of May dry and comfortable. Lots of sunshine. It's the humidity that really is a game changer, and you can feel that now. Maybe you've got the windows open, letting some of the fresh, dry air in the house. Temperatures will actually be on the cool side by the time we get to the morning tomorrow, and especially Sunday and Monday morning. 66 as you go up toward Minneapolis, 71 in Chicago, 75 in Indy. The air will be coming from the northwest, from Canada, the Great Lakes. We're on the cool side of high pressure with a north wind, so we'll push the warm, humid air south of the Ohio River and enjoy a break. The rain is off to the east. We have some cloud cover, but the thicker cloud cover that produced the rain with the cold front this morning is now off and leaving Indiana. 71, a mixture of clouds and sunshine tomorrow. Those clouds pop up in the afternoon, fair weather clouds. Now you see them, now you don't kind of thing. They'll pop up in the afternoon tomorrow, then they'll fade away once the sun sets tomorrow night. They don't return on Sunday. It's a sunny day. 69, wind will be fairly light, but still out of the north. There's your wind tomorrow. Remember, these are the gusts. I think the actual wind speed around 10 miles per hour with a little stronger wind gust at times, but I wouldn't call it windy for sure. 67, lots of sunshine through the morning hours at your noon temperature. Afternoon high, we'll hit 71. Hard to believe that's the warmer of the 2 days over the weekend. Temperatures across The state will be about 5 to 7 degrees below average for this time of year. Coolest temperature Sunday morning from Peru to Muncie and Richmond Northeast. That's not to say the rest of us won't enjoy temperatures below average in the 50s. Sunday, simply sunny, start to finish. Temperatures upper 60s for that afternoon high. Monday will be cool as well. We'll stay around 70 most of the day in the afternoon hours on Sunday. Then you see the trend. Temperatures do warm up again next week. That comes with humidity and a chance for thunderstorms. Chance of thunderstorms not overwhelming on Wednesday. It's possible we put together 4, 5, maybe 6 days without rain in some spots. I think with the humidity coming back and a frontal boundary in the area, have to include that chance of showers in the middle of next week. Beyond this 7-day indicates temperatures above average. Have a good weekend. We'll be right back.
We are Value City Furniture.
These last few months, learning has happened mostly in front of a screen. So many parents have debated about how much screen time is too much and what's best as we hit summer break during the pandemic.
Our Scripps team spoke with experts who say thinking screen time is bad might be old school.
Video games have changed a lot since the days of Atari Pong. Now, more than ever, they're designed to keep our kids engaged. There's science behind it.
Once you really engage that reward system, it's frustrating and tough to pull kids off.
Psychiatrist Joel Stoddard is an assistant professor at the Colorado School of Medicine. He says that's because a child's reward system is stronger than a child's control system. There's a difference in the way the brain reacts to video games compared to online schooling.
Games are designed to really engage their reward systems and keep their attention. So that's a little bit different than online school, which is not really designed in the same way to grab hold of those areas in the brain that are involved in like, oh, this is what I want.
Jennifer Walsh-Rurak is with Fusion Academy, a private online high school. She says as the interaction from online school ends this year, it's going to be okay to allow your kids more screen time because the extra screen time is better than your kids having no interaction at all.
In this day and age where they can't naturally go outside and engage with kids in the neighborhood, we don't want to discourage them from having that social peer interaction, which we know is so critically important.
Stoddard says the extra time on screens isn't all bad. It can actually be beneficial to an extent.
All of our visual and screen areas are getting better. If you're gaming, maybe some of those spatial attention and those reward areas are going to get more sensitive. If we're doing social media, we're going to be highly attuned to be thinking about, what does that like mean or not mean? The brain just gets better at what it does.
But here's what parents need to watch for.
We do know that video games can suck kiddos in so that they're not actually having normative, typical social interactions. They might gain weight, for example, and have disrupted sleep. And those have sort of knock-on effects.
If you start to see a child who's kind of glazed over, staring at the screen, that's a good indicator that it's time for a break.
It's all about finding the balance as we all learn to navigate this new reality. I'm Lindsay Boach reporting.
And by now, most of us know the CDC recommends wearing masks while out in public, but a new study suggests we should also be wearing them at home. Researchers looked at 335 from 124 families in China. Each family had at least one confirmed case of the virus. They said wearing a mask in the home protected against transmission 79% of the time if worn before symptoms started. Researchers found that using disinfectant cleaner daily was also effective at stopping transmissions.
It could be a sign of better days ahead. Costco is bringing back free samples. The wholesaler eliminated the samples out of concern about spreading the coronavirus, but they say they're ready to start bringing back the goodies by the end of June. The CFO said it will be a slow rollout and they will put some changes in place so people won't be able to help themselves. Costco also plans to add a few more menu items to the food court.
Temperatures, they're in the 50s. The next 2 mornings will be into the 40s, as you can see, by Monday. Mark and Amanda, I've got my tennis racket in the office. Fire one in here. Let me see if I can return it.
You're ready to go. Thanks for making RTV6 your choice for news. Our next newscast is tonight at 11.